Okay, we're in our final clip for lesson 3, and I'm going to briefly explain what your assignment for this week is. Now, this is a larger point value assignment. It is worth 50 points. That's half a letter grade. So please don't wait till the last minute to do this. I'll send out an email notice to give you an advance warning that this is something that you need to take a little bit more time with because it does have a 50-point value, which is half a letter grade. What I'd like you to do, hopefully you've already taken a look at these two videos, which are some oppositional responses to the Comcast NBC acquisition. Of course, you probably all know that Comcast did purchase NBC Universal. In the House of Representatives, Maxine Waters was opposed to the purchase because she felt it did not serve the public interest. And she personally defined public interest for her as it having a lack of diversity in ownership and leadership positions at Comcast, and also in the content that Comcast, NBC, Universal would be putting out. Now, Senator Al Franken interprets the public interest as whether or not it will be good for consumers. All right, so he said that this purchase would reduce competition in the market and likely result in an increase in costs in your monthly cable bill from Comcast for consumers. And I want to point this out because in 1934, the Communications Act of 1934 is what put into motion this idea of media serving the public interest. But there was no direct definition of what the public interest is. So lawmakers, content creators, and consumers have all find their own definition of what public interest means. So I just want you to be aware of that. Now, I put together a list of, well, there's actually two news articles, one that was published right when the acquisition was announced that they wanted to do it, and then one article that came out once the acquisition was approved. I've put those up on Canvas. I want you to read those. And then I thought this would be a little bit fun rather than having me lecture on this for 30 minutes. I want you to watch an episode of a show called 30 Rock that Tina Fey from Saturday Night Live, she produced, wrote, and starred in this show on NBC that is a fictional kind of Saturday Night Live type of show where she plays the head writer. And in the show, NBC is in the process of being purchased by this fictional company called Cabletown, and so this might be an example of a individual content creator whose company is up for sale, pushing back against that. She's using what's called individual agency to talk back to the conglomerate who owns her content. The episode that I want you to watch is from season 5, episode 3. It's called Let's Stay Together, and it parodies Maxine Waters and Al Franken. Maxine Waters is played by Queen Latifah. Well, it's a character, a parody of her. And then Al Franken's a character is played by Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner plays himself and this is a spoof on Senator Al Franken, who maybe y'all don't know, but before he became a senator, he was one of the head writers on Saturday Night Live. So there's there's a lot of levels going on here. So I'd like you to take a look at that and look at how they talk about diversity in this episode. Look at how they talk about what is called vertical integration, where all parts of a business are owned, production, distribution, and exhibition are owned by the same company. This used to be illegal. It was made pretty much legal again in 1996, and we'll talk about that in the weeks ahead. So again, your assignment for this week is in 2 or 3 paragraphs. Draw on your Chapter 13 reading, the Comcast case study vids, and articles that I've provided, the episode of 30 Rock, to discuss the possible benefits and ramifications of media consolidation. And I want you to conclude with a brief statement about whether or not it personally matters to you who owns the media products you consume. Is this something that you should care about as a consumer? And there's not a right answer to whether or not you should care about it, who owns your media products. I just want you to go through the critical thinking exercise because that's not something a lot of us think about all the time. All right, so that concludes this video. Get to work on the assignment, and I look forward to reading them. I hope you have a great week.